First and foremost, how did this all come about?
So the mayor, and I want to give a lot of credit to her and being proactive in trying to get this transition going. And so with conversations with her and several other stakeholders, I was asked to reach out to the Circuit Attorney's office. And so I did that, and obviously that was received positively from the Circuit Attorney. And so what we discussed is what a transition could look like to help whomever the governor appointed. And we knew that, considering that we're the largest office in the state, as well as adjacent to the city, and again, we're one region, we knew that we were probably best situated to help. And so once that was received favorably, we began the process of meeting with the Circuit Attorney's leadership team to get a handle on what was needed and just to help stabilize the office first and foremost, so that whomever was to come in could get just a little bit of a better handoff. For example, we had already started the process of reopening the Warren office, and I'm glad to see that the transition is still continuing to do that and have agreed with our assessment. And so we'll be helping in that endeavor, and from the beginning of these conversations to now and going forward, our office stands ready to help in any way that we can. We understand that the viability of the Circuit Attorney's office is inevitably invariably tied with the County Prosecutor's office, because public safety in St. Louis City impacts public safety in St. Louis County and vice versa.
That kind of leads me to the next question. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of criticism. The county councilman has already filed a bill trying to block this sort of a thing from happening again. So how do you answer the question, how is this fair to county taxpayers who elected you to handle crime in the county?
I think what we have to, I'm gonna look at that question a little bit differently, because first and foremost, a Democratic mayor made a call for aid. A Republican governor asked for a call to aid. Every jurisdiction in this region, as far as Kansas City, is answering that call. And I don't think that the St. Louis County, or certain St. Louis County councilmen want to be the only people that aren't helping. Also, I think this is where we start talking about regional cooperation and just how cooperation looks, and it starts with communication. I think that if those county council members reached out, who believe that, reached out, then they would understand the implications of what they were doing. For example, county police work with city police all the time, and the ramifications of that could potentially serve as a roadblock to that, and that's a direct link to public safety as well. We are appointed as specials in other jurisdictions, just like other jurisdictions are appointed as specials in our jurisdictions all the time, and that is based on court orders. So, I think in so many ways, if we're talking about regional cooperation, I think it's important to have conversations before we just start throwing bills out there, because there's things that folks may not be thinking about. And also, just on the basic level, I think it's important for us to recognize that we all got to work together. And there's so many defendants that we share in common in the city, and so many victims and victims' families that we also share in common. So we are invariably tied together, and I think if they think this through, I think they'll understand that we're not here making this a point to do this forever, but what we're here to do is help in a crisis. And not only the governor, but the mayor have also acknowledged that crisis.
So how much involvement did Mayor Jones and County Executive Page have in this plan?
The conversations that I had with them were just nothing but supportive. And I had several conversations with both of them, even a few members of the county council, and everyone that I talked to recognized this call to action from the mayor and the governor, and we just inherently we understood that there was a crisis. We wanted to help stabilize this office, and so those conversations were nothing but supportive. And again, the mayor understands the gravity of the situation in the city, and obviously she has a obligation that to make certain that that office is running smoothly, because that impacts residents in the city and that impacts all of us.
Gotcha. And so, how surprised were you at her announcement that she was resigning?
Obviously, we weren't expecting it to happen at that point, but I'm not going to question, what was going on. That's obviously not what I was here to do. What I was here to do was help in the transition to whomever the governor appointed, and so we're still planning to do that. We've been already reached out by the new transition team, and so we'll be a part of that, and we're just going to help in any way that we can to get that office stabilized. But and honestly, I think that with all of the jurisdictions from all over this state that are helping, I think we're going to do it.
And as far as the resignation goes, that handwritten order that she had presented to the judge, that was dated Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So how could you not know she was resigning?
No, what you have to understand, initially what my understanding was, what we were going to do was, she was going to be resigning on June 1st, and as the order stated, I was going to manage this transition, because I don't know if there was a lot of conversation going on between the governor's office and the circuit attorney's office. I'm not getting involved in that part, but I thought it was important that there was communication and working together as far as whomever that person was going to be, and we wanted to do whatever we could to make certain that transition was as smooth as possible. So we were under the impression that she would be resigning on June 1st, as she has stated. We hadn't heard anything contrary to that, and so we were going to be managing that transition, which included there's some things that we just needed to do, and if there's going to be charging decisions, there can't be two people making those decisions. So if we're going to have people in there and helping with the transition and a charge needs to be made, we were going to make that decision, and we needed the ability to do that, and that's why we submitted that to the judge, to make certain that we were on legal footing, and obviously everything went from there, and again, we stand ready to help.
You said you had been reached out to already by the new transition team that's been in place. So
yes.
Can you talk, I know it's all developing and preliminary,
yeah.
but can you provide any specifics on how your office is going to help now? Are you going to supply some assistant prosecutors, or how's that going to look?
We are encouraged that they have agreed with our assessment that we have to get the warrant office open, and that's been in conversations with St. Louis City Police Department, the St. Louis City Police Department, the chief, and others who have expressed that we got to get that open. So we were already working on that, and so the transition team now recognizes that, and they're working on that. And so first order of business for us is we're going to get some folks down there to also help with the warrant office and in that endeavor. And then as these things transpire, we're going to help in other ways as well. So we were already putting a plan together and what we could do internally. So we're ready to roll, and we're ready to help in any way we can.
I know this was an important point for you to make, so I just want to give you the opportunity to just say it again if you wanted to, a different way or whatever. But again, the point of how is this fair to county taxpayers and county voters who put you in this position to represent them?
Well, I don't think it's fair or unfair. What I think it is, and obviously if this is going to be something long term, then I think we should have those conversations. But we have to understand that the public safety in the city is invariably tied to public safety in the county. And if that office is not functioning, it is going to impact us. We have defendants in common. We have victims, most importantly, in common. And so if we were just to ignore that problem, then I think that's going to create a bigger problem. And that's why you saw the regional prosecutors coming together, St. Charles, Lincoln County, Jefferson County. All of these individuals, all of these jurisdictions are coming to help, because we have to get that office stabilized. And the quicker that people come, the quicker we can get that office running and get back out. But we put an internal plan together to make certain that we could do what we were set out to do without causing any issues in St. Louis, right here in St. Louis County. So no, we get it. Our first priority is to make certain that this office is running smoothly, and it is. But we have to understand, and we got to start thinking regionally in St. Louis. We just have to.